Misinformation, sometimes, which is coming from everybody. It's, no one has a monopoly on it. Or just power.
You're saying nobody
it's just
has
power.
a monopoly on it. Come on. That's some moral relativism right there.
I said nobody has a monopoly.
You said nobody has a monopoly on it, but that's like saying nobody has a monopoly on being a billionaire. He's got that monopoly up here. I mean, he's got more money than us. A lot more money than us. So,
I don't get the.
You don't get it?
I don't know what point you're making. The right thinks that the left is in a very different place with free speech than they have been before, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. This is arrogant. You don't punish somebody. It would be like if we stopped Henry Ford from making the cars.
Right. The left is losing it. Their Trump obsession has hit insane levels. So bad that even Bill Maher is fed up. And guess what? He just destroyed MSNBC's Joe Scarborough for spewing delusional nonsense. But before we unpack this madness, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you never miss a drop of uncensored truth. All right, buckle up, because this is about to get brutal. Let's dive in.
Here's where the rubber meets the road, because this is important. He wanted to, this week, he's suing the 12-member commission, the California Coastal Commission. He launches his rockets from Vandenberg Space Force Base. We used to call it Air Force Base, but I guess now we're into Space Force time. He wanted the proposal to expand the number of launches. Okay, again, one of the most impressive companies, an American company. He wants a little more, give it to him. No. The commission, some bureaucrat, said nope, and this is the reason why. Commissioner Carol Hart saying, we're dealing with a company, the head of which has aggressively injected himself into the presidential race and made it clear what his point of view is. Yes, because he lives in America, and he can do that.
The Democrats' hypocrisy is suffocating. Their latest target? Elon Musk, the man revolutionizing space, AI, and tech for everyone. But now, he's being punished for wrongthink. Musk requested approval to launch more rockets, a move that strengthens America's edge. But suddenly, delays. Suddenly, red tape. Why? Because he dared to support Trump. Bill Maher sees right through it. Musk didn't leave the Democrats left him. They became the party of censorship, wokeness, and control. And Musk? He doesn't take orders.
The right thinks that the left is in a very different place with free speech than they have been before, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. This is arrogant. You don't punish somebody. It would be like if we stopped Henry Ford from making the cars because we didn't like what
but can you take one anecdotal example? One idiot, right? Truly an idiot to stop.
This is not an idiot. This is someone with power.
An idiot with power is not unusual.
Okay, but that's... Right. Oh, but having power matters.
Bill Maher nails it again. The left's obsession with controlling speech has reached dangerous levels. They don't want discussion. They want submission. That's why Elon Musk is enemy number one. He's not just a billionaire, he's one they can't control. Buying Twitter shattered their echo chamber, and they can't stand it. For years, the right was blamed for stifling speech. Now, the left has taken it to extremes. The founding fathers would be horrified to see today's so-called progressives embracing tyranny. Silencing opposition isn't democracy. And when even Bill Maher is calling them out, you know they've lost the plot. But it gets even worse.
Misinformation, sometimes, which is coming from everybody. It's, no one has a monopoly on it. Or just power.
You're saying nobody
it's just
has
power.
A monopoly on it. Come on. That's some moral relativism right there.
I said nobody has a monopoly.
You said nobody has a monopoly on it, but that's like saying nobody has a monopoly on being a billionaire. He's got that monopoly up here. I mean, he's got more money than us. A lot more money than us. So,
I don't get the...
You don't get it?
I don't know what point you're making.
Joe Scarborough's argument, if you can even call it that, makes zero sense. But is that surprising? Not one bit. Because that's the left's entire strategy. Talk in circles, use big words, and hope no one notices the contradictions. Scarborough, MSNBC's self-proclaimed serious thinker, boldly claims that misinformation is exclusive to the right. But when Bill Maher pushed back, his grand example was, Mark Cuban? Mark Cuban? Really? Sure, he's a billionaire, but since when does wealth alone make someone the gold standard of truth? America has more billionaires than we can count, so what was Scarborough even trying to prove? Like Maher, I'm still trying to figure that out. And let's be real, misinformation isn't a one-party problem. No side, no ideology, no network is spotless. But pretending your team is the beacon of truth while the other is drowning in lies, that's not just dishonest, it's pure hypocrisy. And if there's one thing Scarborough excels at, it's exactly that.
You're saying it's both sides.
Well,
there is no doubt.
There's no misinformation.
There's some disinformation from the left, but comparing it to what Donald Trump spews out every day, every week, comparing it to what Elon Musk is spewing out, unfortunately, on X, you sound like Brett Stevens now, with all due respect. It's a joke. That's a real-time.
And you sound like him, who looks like Rachel Maddow.
This is hypocrisy at its peak. MSNBC, the so-called beacon of truth, wants you to believe that Trump and Musk are the sole kings of disinformation. Because, of course, the woke media never lies, right? Remember when they swore up and down that Hunter Biden's laptop was just Russian propaganda? They pushed that lie so hard, you'd think they had the FBI on speed dial. But when the truth came out, too late, the damage was done. Then there was the Steele dossier. MSNBC hyped it up like it was undeniable proof of Trump-Russia collusion. They obsessed over it, dissected it, until it was debunked. Did they apologize? Of course not. They just moved on to the next narrative. And let's not forget COVID's lab leak theory. They mocked it, called it a conspiracy, ridiculed anyone who questioned the official story, until intelligence agencies took it seriously. Then suddenly, silence. But sure, let's pretend only Trump and Musk spread misinformation. MSNBC's track record says otherwise. And now, here we go again. Another MSNBC talking head, John Heilemann, peddling the same tired narrative, until Russell Brand shut him down.
John, I've not known you long, but I love you already. But I have to say that it's disingenuous to claim that the biases that are exhibited on Fox News are any different from the biases exhibited on MSNBC. It's difficult to suggest that these corporations operate as anything other than mouthpieces for their affiliate owners in BlackRock and Vanguard. And unless we start to embrace, and also, mate, like just spiritually, if I may use that word in your great country, we have to take responsibility for our own perspective.
This obsession with Trump, and now Elon Musk, isn't just hysteria. It's a full-blown operation, a well-oiled machine designed to destroy them. The goal? Strip their power, smear their names, and brainwash the masses into believing they're a threat. Case in point, Musk makes a harmless gesture, and within seconds the media twists it into a Nazi salute. No context, no facts, just instant outrage. And Trump? The man can't breathe without some journalist screaming, "This is exactly what Hitler did." Make no mistake, this isn't journalism, it's war. The media isn't reporting the news, they're weaponizing it. They cherry-pick, distort, and outright fabricate stories to keep Trump and Musk under fire 24/7. And if reality doesn't fit, they rewrite it. This isn't about truth, it's about control. The mission? Derail Trump, silence Musk, and force-feed their own narrative. And they'll burn the truth to the ground to do it.
But I also think at the same time, there is a message of what I would call like common sense, patriotic pluralism. Yeah. That is a majority message, which is like, if some father and mother have health care for their kid lined up who's trans, just stay the fuck out of their business. Let them make that decision. That's their decision to make. And you don't have to make that for your family. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your family.
But the argument is whether the child should make the decision.
But the child is never making the decision. The parents are always making the decision. Parents consent to medical care.
Well, here in California, you're allowed to hide it from the parents if the kid is.
Yes.
Thank you, one person who knows that.
But I mean,
somebody knows that is the case.
Another blatant case of misinformation. It's no secret. In fact, it's widely documented that some schools have actively hidden kids' gender transitions from their parents. Whistleblowers, lawsuits, internal documents, it's all out there. Yet here comes Chris Hayes of MSNBC, looking straight into the camera, claiming it's nothing but a right-wing conspiracy. And we're supposed to believe MSNBC is neutral? Please. Joe Scarborough and his smug panel will pretend their network is the gold standard of truth, while ignoring real reports, dismissing parents' concerns, and gaslighting anyone who questions them. This isn't just bias, it's reality manipulation. If the facts don't fit their agenda, they don't adjust the agenda, they rewrite the facts. And if you push back, you're a bigot, a conspiracy theorist, or worse. That's the playbook, and they never miss a beat. But here's the best part. People are waking up. They're calling out MSNBC's propaganda for what it is. Watch this.
You know what would be good at MSNBC is if you actually did think about both sides and weighed the arguments and made constructive arguments against that side while respecting them. You don't do that. It's propaganda all the time.
What you just said, what you just said just described my show. So I had a Trump lawyer on this week. I've had Steve Bannon on my show. I've had Trump White House officials.
I watch MSNBC.
Right, so you describing a goal that I'm achieving, I take that as a compliment.
MSNBC's fake balance act is getting old. They trot out a token conservative guest now and then, hoping it tricks people into thinking they're fair. Spoiler, they're not. They don't want real debate. They want controlled opposition. The second someone actually challenges their spin, meltdown mode activated. Case in point, Andrew Sullivan called out their propaganda machine on live TV, and they couldn't handle it. Because at the end of the day, MSNBC isn't about facts. It's about protecting their narrative at all costs.
And I think to sit within the castle of MSNBC throwing rocks at Fox News is ludicrous.
My friend,
make MSNBC better. Make MSNBC great again.
My friend, I would, the moment,
Fight them on a territory you can win on, Joe.
Russell, darling.
If MSNBC ever wants to regain credibility, they need to ditch the smug superiority and stop pretending they're the guardians of truth. Spinning the news while ignoring their own history of misinformation isn't fooling anyone. First step, own up to the propaganda. But lip service isn't enough. They need to drop the partisan act and embrace real journalism, where both sides actually get a fair shake. That means holding all leaders accountable, not just Republicans. Funny how their moral outrage only seems to kick in when Trump is in office, yet disappears when Democrats are in charge. If they truly believe in democracy, they'll prove it by grilling everyone with the same intensity. Anything less, they're just another propaganda machine. And with that, we wrap up today's video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more juicy updates. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.